Hey everyone, welcome back. Now, the video here actually been wanting to get out much sooner than what I actually have. So, just had a few things get in the way in life, so hence the delay for this video. But anywho, so so for the finishing up going into from May to going into June now. So, still been working away at the Scania truck for the group build. Got quite a bit of it done since the last update, but not as much as I'd ideally wanted to have. So I do, as you could probably tell, I got some of the decals already installed on the truck, including the window scrolled work, and then got part about 2/3, or about probably actually more of a quarter if you can include the visor. So about 3/4 of the way done on the roof itself. And then just a case of getting the air horns in. So everything on here is just currently loose fitted for now. So so I do have it still where the roof can be taken off. And then with the aero cap parts, so still have to get a connecting point here to get glued together. Then along with the other side, which I have somewhere in the mess. Then still need to get the the headliner done, which I have that still in paint. So there's that. Then getting the cab out. Has decal put apparently a decal, one small wheel hub decals came off. I'll get that back on when I can. So got some of the accessories on, like I've started getting the side steps on, handles, and then the mirrors. Then for the interior, haven't actually done very much with it, unfortunately. So I just got the bottom tier of the bedding in, and the seat, or the the seats and the seat frames in. And then I still also have to get the interior panels, like these ones here, and plus the door cards. Have to get those painted up as well. So so otherwise I'd have the upper layer of the bunk installed already, but with this installed, I wouldn't have been able to be able to slide the interior panels in. So I'm glad that I found that out. So put that back in there, and then plus with the other one. And then with this, I originally was thinking make it a shelf for it, but seeing how when it's installed, it's in the tiers are in the way, or there's some blockage in the way. So just gonna leave it like that for now. But of course, paint it up, then get the rest of the interior built up. So there's pretty much that. And then, considering how late this is actually going, I'm not going to be able to get around to doing all the accessories I wanted to do, but it's at least the majority that I wanted to get done, considering with the paint work and such. And then I still do need to get the rear fender skirts installed, so that I can get the side paneling installed to go over on the side of the truck. Plus, there's also what's essentially a rocker guard that goes over top right here that I still have to get painted up. And then pretty much just a case of getting the rest of the decals on. So in a way, I kind of wish had more progress done, considering it was essentially 2 months. Been having about 2 months to work on stuff, but I've been wanting to work on other stuff, plus a bit of procrastination here and there. So I'm hoping within the next couple days I'll be able to show everything off for the truck being all done. So there's pretty much just that. And then, of course, do have some of the engine slightly detailed up, but nothing too major. Now, and then I'm pretty much going to be painting the radiator and the shroud again, as I was thinking that do a quick brush paint, but doesn't exactly look the nicest, so just going to repaint this. So make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing to look at. And then, it'd pretty much be a case of trying to realign everything, make sure everything still fits fairly nicely still. So, and then the trailer that I did mention that I was going to be building with it, I quickly realized I don't exactly have the space at the moment to paint it. So, later on, after I get the truck built, I'm planning to eventually get the rest of the trailer that I had planned for the truck built up, as I do have the frame built up, but don't exactly have the space in the camera view to show it off at the moment. So that's pretty much what's been going on with the truck. Now, also, I've also did partially start on the Corvettes, both the 1/16th and the 1/25th scale versions. So let me just get those here. Okay, so with the 1/16th Corvette, do have some of the parts installed. Like I did end up getting the wheel and tire package put together here, and instead of using the center lines that were the separate choice or the alternative option to use, figured I may just build the car just as a stock version, or maybe a mild custom. But with this, what I was able to do as well, that was a little bit aggressive than what really needed to happen. But besides that, so I have it. So aside from that, I do have it so that the tires can come apart. So if I really wanted to, I could take, say, the centerline wheels that came with it and just swap the tires over every once in a while if I felt like it. And and then the tires just go squeezed together, and for the most part are fairly solid. So there's that. And then went ahead and went a couple of steps ahead, and then got the entire chassis all built up, which is going to get painted over, and was successfully able to get the suspension to work properly. And it's quite cool to have a kit finally that has working suspension. The rear is a bit more just plastic flexing, but nothing too overly fragile. Whereas the front does have the coil spring. which has a fairly good amount of resistance. So then, of course, to get the mounting the wheels on, should sit fairly nicely. And then got as most or somewhat of the engine built up. The parts that I left off, such as the intake, valve covers, and the oil pan, those were the ones that I want to leave chrome, as the car comes with the kit does come with the fuel injected parts, which are the ones that I'm going to be using for this build. So that's going to be pretty nice to. So that's going to be. So that's how's that going, and I think it's going along quite nicely. And then don't have too much else to mention. Okay, so for the engine as well, that also going to be painting in your standard GM or reddish orange. So should look fairly good when with the chrome parts. Then plus did also get around to working on the 1/25th scale versions. So I do have somewhat of the 67 built up, but nothing too major. But I did get some parts like the transmission built up, along with some of the performance options. But some other parts haven't totally been working on the 67 kit in particular. But I did get some of the AMT 63 Corvette kit version put together. So one thing that I was surprised about with the 63 kit, that it actually came with the option of 2 engines. I know one of them would be one would look like would be the 327, and the other one is definitely thinking the other one may be like a big block or something. Not entirely sure, but having 2 different engine options is quite nice to have. Then, of course, one of the big differences between the 63 and 67 1/25th scale kits is that, for some reason, the AMT version did come with molded in seats, which is a bit of an interesting touch, but can't complain too much. But when I was messing around with parts and such, I did discover something quite a bit interesting, actually. And that would actually have to be that the window parts are actually surprisingly interchangeable. So what I mean by that is, so the 67 kit has separate molded front and rear windows. But when you look at the 63, it's just one piece. And you look at it, you think, oh, you wouldn't expect these to be interchangeable. But say, for instance, for some reason you buy one of these older 67 Corvette kits and you have tire marking on either windshield. Now what can be done a bit is, so you see that works, then take the window piece out of the 63, fits in there essentially perfectly. You may need to do a bit of trimming for the may need to do some trimming for the quarter windows, as there's a little bit of access right here. But other than that, it fits almost perfectly. And then going vice versa, the 67 window fits in the front and back quite nicely as well, and don't really need much else. So a little bit of a side note there, if anyone ever gets it. I'm sure some of you may have known that, but for those who didn't, that's a little bit of a cool tip to know. So you can easily get you could essentially get a replacement window for a 63 kit, but no, yeah, you could get a replacement window for a 63 and use it for a 67 kit. So, yeah. So there's pretty much that, and then yeah, so pretty much just haven't had time to work on stuff, but I'm hoping after the big rig build, I'm hopefully able to get more progress done, plus be able to show off some rebuild kits my rebuild kits from what I bought from my most recent purchases. So there's that, and I think that's pretty much all that there is to mention for now at least. So between the truck and the Corvette, both are coming along fairly decently. So hoping I'm definitely telling myself that I'm going to have to get more videos put out. And then, considering this one is due on this upcoming Friday, definitely going to get that set up, and then finish this for June. So, yeah, so I believe that's all there is, and I think that'll be it for this video. And of course, see you later.